County Council please come to order for our September 10th meeting. At this time, I'd like to ask everybody to rise and in honoring Charlie Kirk, who was assassinated this afternoon. I can give him a moment of silence before Scott Calvert leads us in the lesson.
Please place your right hand over your heart. Ready to begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Well, thank you all for showing up tonight. We are having our meeting hybrid, which means we're in person and online. Zoom, which is great. So we're going to keep it. We've got three pages of agenda items here to cover, so we're going to keep it rolling along. And Sandy Grimes, again, is our community volunteer who's co-hosting the meeting. For those that are watching us via Zoom, if you have any concerns or whatever, you can get a hold of her directly. Thank you again, Cindy. At this point, we're going to start off with our agency reports. Start off with Los Angeles County Sheriff, Resident Deputy Martinez's report.
Hey guys, you guys are the first time.
Yeah.
Reached out to you.
Yeah.
For last month, so today, we had 86 calls for service in the Wilson area. 41 of those were self-initiated calls like traffic stops or multiple trucks. And our stats for small numbers will have a frequencies. And then, calls for everything, right? Okay, so for the month of August, we had 2 Part 1 crimes and 1 property crime, but that is a 60% versus this time last year, those 3 versus last year. This year we had 11 total incidences, and last year we had 7. So, like I said, little numbers make a big difference. It is September, which is Preparedness Month. You know, I want the community to be prepared for our wildfires, our power outages, and our earthquakes. So if you don't have a plan, have a plan, especially you have equestrians and stuff, to make sure that it's not the first time you're ever trailing them when the smoke's coming down your property. Probably not a good time the first time to put a horse in the trailer. That's coming out and does very well. The Pondo Sheriff Station's having a haunted house on October 11th, 12th. It's free. The people that put it on actually do it for professionally for Universal Studios and all that other stuff. One of the deputies at our station is his parents' company, and so the last couple years we've done it. It's legit. Like I said, it's free. It's small because the jail's not very big, but it's a good event. It's trunk or treat. They'll have food trucks and stuff out there for you guys to come out. That kind of great.
Right. Thank you very much. Anybody have any questions? Yes, we have a question right here.
On the jersey.
Okay. So next up, we have California Highway Patrol. I believe he's on Zoom. Officer Allen.
Hi guys. I couldn't make it out there tonight, unfortunately. So we'll go into the August stats, Russ. We'll start with traffic crashes. They're actually looking pretty good numbers-wise. The area, B200, which is everything that's not one of the major ones, had 2 property damage crashes and a hit-and-run crash with injury. Sierra Highway looked really good this month. Had only 2 crashes total, both hit-and-runs. that were reported to us anyway. Soledad, 2 injured crashes, nothing on sand. Bouquet Canyon only had the 1 injured crash from us. Nothing all the way across the board on Agua Dulce Canyon Road. And then the freeway had on the northbound side 4 property damage, 6 injury, a couple hit and runs, and then we had that 1 fatal traffic crash going northbound. On the downhill side, you had 5 property damage, an injury, and 2 hit and runs for a total of 8. Citations in the area, we had 5 on B200. On Sierra Highway, we had 16. Soledad 1. Nothing on sand. And then we had a little bit of extra enforcement for some traffic complaints on Bouquet Canyon, which bumped us up to 19 for last month. Nothing on Agua Dulce Canyon. And then at the bottom of the page, we got the freeway citations on the uphill side, northbound 138, and downhill 213 tickets were issued between Ward Road and Soledad Canyon. Going to arrests. County area, 2 DUI arrests and a stolen vehicle recovery. Sierra Highway DUI arrest. We had a drug arrest. And we also had a separate felony pursuit arrest that started up in Acton and ended over off of Anthony, and other misdemeanor arrest. On Soledad, we had a stolen vehicle recovery and a miscellaneous arrest. I think it was a driving while suspended. Then we go to the freeway, 146, or the northbound side was real busy this month for DUIs. We had a total of 10 between Soledad and Ward and 2 others. On the southbound side, 2 arrests, another felony pursuit, and then 8 miscellaneous other arrests. And that's it for the numbers.
Great. Okay, do we have any questions for Officer Allen? I don't see any here. Up there. All right, thank you very much for the report. We appreciate it.
All right, I'll put my info in the chat in case anyone has any complaints about the area, and I will be looking forward to your email if you do.
Great. Thank you very much for attending. Next up, we have Los Angeles County Fire Department, and in place of Maria, we have Officer Chief Sprinkle.
Thanks, Tom. Great. Hey, so good evening, Agua Dulce County Council and community. I appreciate the opportunity to be here with you tonight. Maria is at another event tonight, so I figured I could fill her shoes, so we'll see how we do. So I got 2 months for you, and then I got a couple other things to talk about. So I've got July and August for you, so we'll start with July. So total responses for the month of July, 36 total responses, 25 patients receiving medical care, 0 calls for just regular service calls, 2 vehicle fires reported, both were reported on the 14th freeway, with one of those reporting damage of $11,000. No hazardous conditions reported. Typically, hazardous conditions are wires down, gas leaks, etc. And there was 9 good intent calls for service, which is kind of a catch-all for some of our service calls. For August, the month of August, 47 total responses, 31 patients receiving medical care, 1 service call, 2 reported fires, or 2 vehicle fires reported. 1 was reporting damage of $6,000. In addition to that, there was an outside shed fire, and there was 2 small brush starts. One was a 1/4 acre, and one was a small start in the center, the center divider of the freeway. No hazardous conditions reported, and there was 10 good intent calls for August of 2025. So the safety tip of the month, this month's safety tip is centered around drownings. Typically see an uptick during the summer months with kids at home for summer and what have you. Only takes a few seconds for a child to drown. Drowning accidents are the leading cause of death for children under 4 years of age. Tips to keep you and your family safe: never take your eyes off a child when he or she is near any body of water. Don't rely on barriers such as fences or walls. near a pool or spa. Constant supervision is essential. Remove toys and ensure your pool is covered when not in use. Don't rely on inflatable devices to keep your child afloat and keep a life ring accessible. And in addition, we suggest that you learn CPR and you learn rescue breathing. And you can get that through your local fire department. We also mentioned another issue that we had recently. So I want to make mention of a recent miscommunication on a news story that ran on CBS here recently. It was picked up by a couple of other news affiliates that discussed Los Angeles County Fire advocating for residents to stay behind and defend property on wildfires. I don't know if any of you heard that story. The story was grossly taken out of context and was in reference to fire brigade personnel who have been trained properly by our department, staying in patrolling areas after a fire has burned through that. So let me be clear as the fire chief here for this district. Los Angeles County Fire does not advocate, never has, for residents to stay behind and protect property during wildland fires. Conversely, we encourage our residents to be prepared by prepping and hardening your home, maintaining proper brush clearance, and always being prepared to evacuate if and when needed. So remember, Ready, Set, Go is what we teach here in California, and certainly in Los Angeles County. Ready, Set, Go is your wildfire action plan and your template for being prepared for the wildland season. The Ready, Set, Go booklets are available at your local fire station here at Fire Station 81 and through our website at fire.lacounty.gov/RSG. Again, that's at fire.lacounty.gov/RSG. And that concludes my report for the month, unless there's any questions.
Great. Do you have any questions?
Yep.
Okay, if you have a neighbor who is not compliant with, fire suppression, what is the protocol to politely enforce that, obviously not across with enforcement, but hey, by you not doing your suppression area, but my tree is at risk and your house and mine, and I spent $5,000 this year doing my brush clearance, almost off the finger with my chainsaw. Is there any way that we could do yours, be a part of the community and also help our heroes and our firefighters to save our lives? How, what are the steps to kind of like trying to enforce that? Like give them a letter, 30 days later, when the fire department can come out, the fire chief can come out and we try to sue me and tell me that activity which has been there for 35 years and they're almost unfortunately for 50 clearance and very, brush and leave that. So there's no mandate to take California to even go to first, being highly flammable, and this particular neighbor has literally these big pine trees that are growing into the actual building that are like Roman shingles. So it's
So great question.
Think about that.
So great question, and it comes up every fire season for me. I cover a lot of area here in Los Angeles County, and it comes up every year as we get close to the brush season and going into the brush season. So first off, I would just encourage you to try to be good with your neighbor. We all know that our homes alone are only so good. We need everybody to come together as a community and to attack it as a community. It doesn't always work like that. What I would encourage you to do, I think, is to reach out to the local fire station, have them come out, take a look at your property, and they could also make recommendations to the neighbor there and hold them accountable also. So I would encourage the fire department, the local energy company to come out and take a look. They can reassess that and then potentially work with your neighbor to try to, I always try to work with the neighbors to enforce it. At the end of the day, it's my firefighters who are putting themselves in harm's way. We want it to be protected for us, and we want the principal space for us. For you guys to get out and for us to get in. So we will work with those neighbors and try to help enforce that. It's I don't like to go down the process, but I have no problem going down the process.
Yeah, the fire chief that came once, she threatened to me if I didn't remove my eucalyptus trees. The tree firefighter took him out and they invest at my property gave me instructions on what to do, which I did, bring it up to par,
Yep.
top of the line, whatever. And then 4 months later, another text message saying, we appreciate your attempt, but.
Okay, I'll give you my contact also for the here, and, you can reach out to me directly.
Thank you very much. We appreciate your participation.
The only other thing I wanted to add was Maria is starting a CERT class, in October, on Tuesday, 6 to 9 here at the Women's Club. And it will run through December 9th, 6 to 9 here at the Women's Club, starting October 6th. CERT is, Community Emergency Response Team, so that, you are trained to deal with an emergency before the emergency personnel gets to us. Because, like, if there's a fire in Altadena, if it's burning down Altadena, we're not gonna get those resources if we've got a fire going on the same day. So, it's a great course to take.
It's a wonderful course, it really is good.
It is.
Yeah.
It's good, like, I'll probably come like it last time about it, but if you've never wrapped your mind around preparedness, it's a good entry to it. The Sheriff's Department, we utilize the AD cert, if you guys volunteer. That good, but it was for like elderly Christians sometimes, or small children, because so my other fire will search and rescue. And then, yeah, we do all the wildland search and rescue stuff, but when we're looking for a dementia patient, you guys can get in a car, and now we kind of have a force multiplier, and kind of like from the city, like that, but we've been utilizing that a lot in the agency, for dementia and small children and on board.
I know many of you have participated, excellent course. You guys have the opportunity to take it from Maria here also, who's about the best CERT instructor there is. She really gets into her classes and makes it interesting. I think it makes you, better all around on all around houses when it comes to utilities, when it comes to, first aid, when it comes to what have you. It's just really, really good knowledge to make you, certainly pertinent. As you said, Mary, when we do have a big incident, and it's not just wildland, you know, it could be earthquake, it could be, you name it. We are going to need the support of community residents to help us out in some of those areas. And there's a lot of stuff that we can do to get things done. So take that opportunity if you haven't done it already. It's a great opportunity here, and it's a really good class. It's kind of cool to see the community come together and learn together like that. So,
And fire department donated a container, and that container is filled with surface boxes down in Grantsport. So,
Okay, well, back at the end of this,
yeah.
very cool background.
Yeah, very cool background.
Do they have any, organizations that I can list for equine rescue in the event that I don't have a trailer to help with?
so typically when we have an emergency, you'll see what's on proximity stuff, but like, I encourage everyone who's on already. I know like social media is kind of like a, you know, sometimes not everyone has it, but follow all your local government, fire stations, follow your local sheriff stations. So we put out all the small animal, large animal rescues and stuff. And then, anytime that you need assistance and there's ability and time to do it, like part of our search and rescue that we facilitate that, and like I'm getting phone calls from the volunteers and, hey, I need, you know, Cliff needs help over there with his horses. Can you guys help people? From safe to do so, we have not to do so. We're not trying to attack people. We're able to do that kind of thing. But if you follow all of those media stuff, a lot of that information, when those things come, we repost them. And it's really good for that kind of stuff and catch up to date really quickly.
The wildland incidents outside of the central Santa Clarita, we're always thinking about that because it's an issue.
Yeah.
So we like you guys to think ahead also as part of the Ready, Set, Go. Let's have a plan for what we're going to do with those large animals, but it is on our priority list when we come up to an area like this to assure that we're being prepared for large animals and what have you. So.
Road clear and release over there.
Yeah.
Right, if you don't have a trailer,
Yes, I am not.
I would encourage you to find a neighbor and make friends
Have a plan.
I thought I should be here, I have.
You know what, there's other neighbors around, go down to the next street.
Where are you at?
Because there's, most equestrians are
Yeah, we're happy.
My wife will come pick you up.
Okay. Yeah, I'm,
Gotcha.
over the Ocean area.
Okay.
How many more did you have?
4.
Oh.
Yeah, and, yeah, so it's, I mean, I prefer them loose, I'm working on fencing that I can control with my phone, where I could release them in the event of like catastrophic, where it's my whole backyard, there's mountains, there's no development, it's just mountain range. So at least they, being fight or flight animals could escape away from humans,
Right.
and at least have a chance versus being trapped.
Just make sure if you do that you tag them well.
I do, the traffic, there's just, well, I don't wanna take your guys' time, but, there is no legal licensing for the lodging.
I know, but what you do is braid it into their main, all your information.
So,
I put it on the hood.
You could also-
Yeah, and that host too.
if you brand any of your horses and register them with the state, we have access to those branding.
I will do that, because in Los Angeles County, I spent a month trying to track down, how do I get my.
And you can microchip horses, mine were all.
It doesn't matter, just because someone rescues them doesn't mean they're gonna give up
Well,
$40,000 region.
Yeah, I love Parisian.
The branding is recognized in the state.
I'm thinking about branding them with
Yes.
my nonprofit horse rescue EIN number, so that it's pretty hard for them to steal them and keep them.
We had one question, how late can they sign up for the cert class? I think,
up into, up
All the way until the class, all the way until the class.
Yeah, in that day.
And we'll,
Yeah.
any as we can get, yeah.
okay, October 9th.
Yeah, it's a great class.
Here.
Yeah.
October 7th.
That's okay.
That's
And because of the holidays, they're not gonna have it, I think,
Election Day,
Thanksgiving
Thanksgiving
and
week, and Veterans Day.
Veterans Day. So there's 3 days that you would think that the class can be held, but it's not gonna be held because of those holidays. That's why it's going all the way into December
Okay.
before it concludes.
Oh, it's here,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like 6 or 7.
6 or 7
I
o'clock.
think it's 7,
And you get like a certification.
Yes.
certification of back.
And a great backpack that I've already put other things into.
Very good.
Good.
All right. Thank you very much. We appreciate you guys for it.
Appreciate the opportunity, Ian.
So Lorna has a question. How do people sign up? I'm sure Maria will take care of this now the dates are fixed, but there is a website, lacountyfire.galaxydigital.com/event/, and that's where people normally sign up for the different cert classes that LA County is offering.
Yeah, and, Maria said she would have, flyers for us for the fair. So,
Oh, good.
we will be able to hand them out at the fair.
Okay. So if anybody comes to the fair, they can get their invitation there.
Perfect. If you have a Facebook account, you can sign up for the Acton Agua-Dulce Emergencies and Community Watch page,
Oh, can we write that down? It's the acting?
and Agua-Dulce Emergencies and Community Watch page. And normally when events find them work their way onto Pulse Point, which is an app you can get for your phone like brush fires.
Full point, full it out.
Pulse Point is an app.
This launched in August of 2021. It was in motion by the Board of Supervisors, and they were asking us just to look at, hey, Public Works, like, where are you spending money? What are you spending it on? Are the communities getting what they need? You know, are certain communities maybe getting more trees than others? Is this equitable? Who needs what? So we're trying to take a look back and see how we prioritize our work and just make our work more equitable to folks. Yeah. It's okay if we can't, I can just kind of talk through it. The next graphic was one of those ones that you see, it's like, let's see if we get this one up. It's okay. So I'll just go into what we've been doing over the past few years. So we started doing all these analysis. We mapped out where we've been spending money on our projects and services to see if, oh, we got it back up. Let's go to the next one. Okay, so you've all probably seen something like this, but I just want to relate it to what we do. So we compare equity and equality a lot. The top graphic is the definition of equality. So everyone's given the same bicycle, even though it's not super useful for all of them. Only one person can really get from point A to B comfortably, whereas equity is kind of meeting people where they need, giving folks the right resources. So we're trying to do this throughout the county, where up here in Agua Dulce, you probably don't have the same needs as someone does in East LA. So we're trying to give resources that are needed rather than with those assumptions, and work with the communities to determine the best projects and services. We can go to the next one. So we came out to you in 2023. I believe someone probably came to this meeting. We were trying to go to as many as we could. We had a survey where we were asking residents, hey, what do you need from us? What can we do better? We had about 2,000 responses to that survey, and we also did a ton of other work. Like I mentioned, we had an investment analysis. We analyzed where our maintenance was being done. We also reached out to other departments to see if we're in alignment with them. And we had a huge community engagement effort. It's not just the survey, we had focus groups and working with communities to see what we can do to improve our service. We can go on to the next one. So out of all of those analyses, we developed these 6 equity, we call them equity priorities, but it's really just things we're focusing on now. Community engagement and partnerships, so making sure we're working with the communities when we're identifying projects, rather than just coming out to communities and saying like, hey, this is what we're doing, we're paving this road. We're trying to ask, you know, what you want to see from us more. The second is use of data. So we're creating all these dashboards so that the public can see where we're doing work, what we're doing, and how quickly it's being completed, trying to be more transparent with our work. And then the third is workforce diversity and inclusion. This can actually include things, you know, we're a very technical department. A lot of civil engineers work there. We're trying to hire other folks and work with other departments as well to have public health officers, people who specialize in other things that are related to infrastructure, but not necessarily engineering related. Fourth is policy and practice, just editing our policies to make sure they align with the community's needs. The fifth one is intra and interagency collaboration, so working more with our county partners to share the resources. And, you know, a lot of the time, Public Works will host an event, and then it turns out, you know, like fire or sheriff is hosting one as well, and we're trying to kind of come together and do these more collaboratively. And the last one is organizational culture, so just improving the workplace for our employees. And, you know, you gotta kind of start with them and make it a better place so that they can perform. We'll move to the next one. So we developed, you can actually go to the next one, we'll skip this one. We developed this equity framework, and this is all based on that survey and everything I just mentioned, those priorities I went through. We have strategies that we're putting in place to now act on these priorities. So we're coming back to you all to say, did we hear you right when we did that survey in 2023 and created this document that we're about to implement? Did we hear you? Are we doing the right thing? And if not, can you provide us some feedback and comments on what we're preparing here? So I'm not going to go into any more detail in this document itself. I just asked that, and I'll give everyone here some handouts. There's a QR code on the screen, but also the next slide has the website. So those who are here in person, you can actually go to this next one too.
The next one?
The last one.
Hello.
Yeah, sorry about that. So this has an email address and our website and the way to go review this document. If you're here in person, I can give you a physical handout. And for anyone who's online, and if you have any trouble, just email the address on the slide. It comes directly to me. And we really, really look forward to your comments, especially if you are having issues with certain infrastructure-related items. We want to know. Yeah, we hear it at every meeting. We're going out to kind of all these town councils and hear there's pavement issues, there's illegal dumping issues, and this is what we're here. I mean, it's kind of a bigger picture where we're trying to solve these problems at a grand scale, but if you also just want to let us know about those specific issues you're having, I can take them back or let you know how to report it. So that's my spiel today. Please let me know if you have any questions, and I'll give everyone a little handout.
All right, anybody have any questions for Caitlin?
Yeah,
Private beach and then community is the rest of the development.
I am not sure on that one, so I'll have to take it back, but I believe we only maintain the unincorporated LA County as that end. But that's something you could share in this, and we could, because we are trying to do more work with other organizations outside of just public works to try to solve, the specific problems you might have.
All right. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. I'll list these at the end if anyone wants to grab.
Great. Next up, we have Los Angeles County Parks, Vasquez Rocks, Park Superintendent, Sarah Brewer. Going to give us an update. Sarah?
Hi, everybody. How's my audio?
Yeah, you're good. You're not loud and clear.
All righty. Well, thanks, everybody. I'll go quick because I know everybody's probably had a long week, a long day. But happy to be here. Happy to give some good updates over at the Rocks. Everything's going well and smoothly. We've had a really fun spring and summer. Amazing. It's kind of already come to a close just about. We are closing out our fireside nights next month already, if you can believe it. We started back in May for those. So we had our Grandparents' Day one that just this past Sunday. It was really sweet. We had a lot of great grandparents, brought out, had s'mores with their grandkids and their kids. So that was really nice. Our last fireside night is October 12th, which is a Sunday. It's for Indigenous Peoples Day, so we're doing that with the Fernandino Tatavium, and that'll be really fun. So look for a flyer for that. It's the date and time are on our regular fireside flyer, which I can also put in the chat, but we're also doing a specific event flyer, so you'll see that one floating around. We are also at the end of our Twilight hikes for this year. It's hard to believe those are almost over too. So that last one will be on October 3rd, and the registration for it opens on September 19th, so 2 weeks before. Those have still been filling up. They've been super, super fun. We've seen a lot of cool wildlife this time. So it's been fun. It's always kind of bittersweet when they end. Not really sweet. I mean, we miss them. It's just we only can't do them because the weather gets too cold at night, but we love doing those. So it's really enjoyable for us. Meet a lot of cool people. We're probably going to create a new fall foliage hike, which we haven't done before, but I noticed last year in the canyon, the sycamores and the cottonwoods have the most electric orange and yellow colors. So we're going to probably offer some guided hikes down there. So that'll be a lot of fun. And then what's the other one? Oh, our movie magic hikes. So we did them last year during the summer. It was a little bit hot. So this year we're going to do them fall and early winter. So those are a free drop-in hike where we spend about 90 minutes, go, to some really cool different filming areas and show different stills and production, stills and clips from different filming over the last 100 years. So those are really, really fun too, pretty well received. Been continuing to work with wildlife rescue. We just had a beautiful big red-tailed hawk that we helped get to Ojai last week. She's going to be just fine, which is great. Continuing just safety measures, brush clearance, trail work, things like that, removing invasive plants, limiting, fire risk around our buildings and parking lots as best we can. We had our community meeting this past week, which went really well. We had about 22 people, I think. It was great. A lot of great dialogue, people sharing their ideas, what they liked about the year, what they'd like to see next year. And feedback's always welcome. So you guys are always welcome to send me an email, or if you ever want to swing by, feel free to let us know. Myself or one of my staff would be happy to. We're always looking for ways to improve and ways to work with the community. So we're here, open door, anytime anybody wants to come, we'd love to talk to you. So I think just a reminder to folks that our park hours, our closing time is going to go from 7:30 to 5. So we'll be 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. starting November 1st, kind of to coincide with daylight savings. And just reminding folks too that we really have active wildlife, especially in the evening, kind of the twilight hours and after dark. So we always encourage folks to respect the at any park facility you go to, because it's for safety. but to, listen to the park hours, make sure you're out of the park, when after closing. We do have an active mountain lion who we think has a cub, and we know we have a bobcat family that's up here in kind of near our sanctuary area, near our office. We just saw the mom today, and she's really beautiful, looks really healthy. So we're hoping she can stay off of Escondido and continue to stay healthy with her 2 babies that we saw. So we're very excited for her, and love to see that they're doing well, and she's helping us with some of our squirrel control. So she's been getting some big chunky squirrels, which is good for her. Photo shoots and filming going really well. This is the time of year where we get more family photo shoots booking with us, which is really great. They're fun to work with. We just go through the insurance process and safety measures with them. So that's really fun. And then, I think that's about it. We have some good filming coming up this fall too, now that the weather's going to be cooling a little bit. So we'll have some more commercial productions, television series, things like that. So I think that's about it. And if anybody has any questions, feel free to let me know, or you know where to find me.
Okay, I think we're looking clear. So, pardon me? Okay, thank you very much for your report, Sarah. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, next up, we have 5th District report, Stephanie English. Stephanie's not here, but Isabel, I think, is here. So, Isabel?
Hey everyone. Hi, Dawn. I don't have too much for you guys. Tomorrow is 9/11, so I have one thing to share on that. At yesterday's board meeting, the board unanimously approved a motion that was authored by Supervisor Barger to proclaim September 11th as Patriot Day and National Day of Service and Remembrance in LA County. The motion also directs all county departments to fly the U.S. and county flags at half staff on that day, tomorrow, to honor the thousands of innocent lives lost in the terrorist attacks on 9/11. So that's all I have, unless there's any questions on anything.
Anybody have any questions? Looks like we're clear. Thank you very much, Isabel. We appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Next up, we have Assembly Member Tom Lackey's report from California 34th Assembly District, if anybody's here. Looks like Anna. Is it Anna? Yeah, I don't see it. All right. So we're going to go right on to Senate District, which is Senator Suzette Martinez Valadares, and Tanya is the one that's visiting with us tonight to give that report. But I don't see Tanya either. All right. Okay. So we're going to move right on to U.S. 27th Congressional District, George Whiteside. Shannon Hurst is his field representative. And if Shannon's not here, we have Maria Unzueta. Maria's here, but she's got her microphone. Oh, there she goes. Okay.
There we go. Thank you. Perfect pronunciation, actually. It's rare. Thank you for pronouncing my last name correctly. Yes, as you know, Shannon is usually at these meetings, but we're splitting duties tonight, so I'm here. Same, I don't have a lengthy update. I just wanted to remind everyone of the programmatic information Shannon might have already shared. We have a congressional art competition that promotes STEM among middle school and high school students, and it's a competition where they can create an original app, submit it. It will be judged on by judges from NASA, from the aerospace industry throughout the AV, and then the winner gets it showcased in Washington, D.C. And that is, the submissions must be submitted by October 30th. It can be a team or an individual that submits an original application. And we also have our Congressional Service Academy nomination. That application just opened a week ago, and that is for the 4 service academies: the United States Service Academies, Naval Academy, Merchant Marine Academy, the Air Force Academy, and the United States Military Academy. They require a congressional nomination, and students can now submit their application either digitally. They can find it on the congressman's website at whitesides.house.gov. And it has several requirements. All those details are in our FAQs. And they'll have to go through submitting a full packet. And then we do interviews with a panel who makes recommendation on who should be nominated to a service academy. And then the service academies decide if they award an appointment to students. But it's considered nearly a $500,000 scholarship, and then it's followed by active service in the United States military. It's a great opportunity for students who want to join the service and also continue their education through that. So those are the two program materials happening now. The Service Academy application is open and is due at the end of October. And again, it's whitesides.house.gov for more information and to complete the application. And we also, in the spring, will come around and start promoting our congressional art competition, where the winner is flown to DC and their artwork is displayed for a year in the United States Capitol. So that's essentially our update for tonight. If anybody has any questions, I can also add Shannon and my information in the chat, as well as drop the link to the congressman's website.
Great. Okay. I think we're clear here, Maria. We appreciate you joining us tonight and giving us an updated report.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we have Santa Clara River Watershed Area Steering Committee. Here's your W Watershed Coordinator, Amanda. Is Amanda with us here tonight? No. How about Heather? Heather or Amanda? I don't see either. Okay.
I can let you know that the September 18th Santa Clara River Watershed Steering Committee meeting has been canceled.
Okay.
Next one will be in October.
All right. So pick it up at our next meeting then, probably. Perfect. Okay.
So SB 552, the working group, has taken a look at small water systems and is now starting to focus on private well owners.
Yeah.
And how they can figure out how to help private well owners become more drought tolerant. And the state gave the county some money when they passed SB 552, and the objective of giving them that funding was to help the counties around the state figure out how they were going to approach drought tolerance and wildfire risk reduction across stormwater systems and private well owners. Here in LA County, the county engaged, I forget the name of the school, but it was like the Jim Henson Muppet School of Business at UCLA or something. And the report that they came out with was just garbage. The only person that they didn't acknowledge on the list of authors was Hans Christian Andersen. It so happens that one of the studies that they put together was for the Sleepy Valley Water Company, which is down by the Shed. And I read that since I'm a certified water operator and the treasurer for the Sleepy Valley Water Company, and they calculated that it would cost us $9 million to add the electrical backup supplies so that if the power went out, we could continue to run our wells.
So did you write a check?
No, it actually, well, if we spent $9 million, we could dig up a entire network and put a whole new system in. Fire hydrants, we could probably put a 750,000 gallon storage tank in to replace the 100,000 gallon we got. And it actually cost us $13,500 to do the backup electrical supply.
That's better than $9 million.
Fortunately, we're part of the team, and I picked up the phone to the person at LA County who's looking at this and said, hey, you're wide of the mark. So we'll see. I mean, I have low expectations and they're living up to it. So
That's the sad part about this group, is that they don't understand it.
Yeah.
And I think they're relying on garbage, studies, because they don't understand it, they don't question the studies, they just take it as fact.
Yeah.
So.
And it's very difficult to have that because, as we know, we've had a failed septic near our wells. Ultimately, it's the county's responsibility to enforce the LAMP, the local area management plan, to get a homeowner to fix their septic. We're 4 years into it and we haven't done that yet. But that report is picking up the water company saying, well, you've obviously got a problem with your water. No, we haven't got a problem with the water. We've got a problem with the county. You know, because if we go and sue the homeowner, we'll win. They'll be told they have to pay us some money. We'll never collect it. We'll waste $20,000 to $25,000 suing them, and the septic will still be broken. It's only the county that has that authority at public health levels to go in and make that happen. And it just takes forever. So when the county shows up and talks about equity and equality, it's nice words, but it's empty. There are so many inequitable things I can point to that come out of public health, regional planning, public works, that relate to just that water company over the last 25 years that have cost people who can least afford it lots and lots of extra money. And you know, we'll do our bit to try and...
Yeah, it's a good thing both Chris and I are included in this task force, because we're going to do everything we can to keep them from regulating this anymore.
Yeah, it's kind of funny listening to them sort of figuring out how they're going to go approach private well owners without getting shot.
Name the company that's going to approach private well owners.
So the state passed a bill called SB 552, and it's to do with drought tolerance and wildfire preparedness for small water systems and private well owners across the state.
So you're regulating.
So the Department of Public Works, no, they're not going, beyond what's in that bill, they're kind of feeling their way through it. The biggest challenge is the bill creates a series of deadlines for particularly small water systems to take certain steps, back up power supplies.
And what should be required to do?
No, it's what they call an unfunded mandate. So it's potentially billions of dollars that the state is expecting these enterprises to spend, and the county's job is to figure out which way is up and how that gets rolled out in a reasonable way over a period of time. But
when you say they, I mean, you see how they do business, it's the people that pass the SB 552 or some water company that...
So the state is the entity that passed SB 552. The state water board ultimately controls all the water rights over the water sources around the state.
Okay.
And then they pass certain responsibilities down to the different counties, LA County, Ventura County, Orange County, etc. And their public works, public health, regional planning groups, they have to figure out what they're going to do to accommodate these new regulations. But ultimately, it does ultimately impact homeowners at some level.
And is there any deadline on these new regulations are going to be up?
There are deadlines, but there are no penalties for not complying, so it's not too bad. Yeah. But yeah, that's SB 552.
We continue on. All right, we're going to move on to waste management. Is Quincy with us?
Oh, yes.
Oh, President Greer. You're here in person?
Yes.
Live. Oh, good.
All of you in
We love those
person.
live.
So I just have really one thing. October, I just blanked on the date. I believe it's the 4th. Let me pull that up really quick. Yes, October 4th from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. We're doing our free dump day at the Lancaster landfill for our unincorporated residents. You can go ahead and bring on in couches, leftover trash you have, anything you need to get rid of to dump for free at the landfill, 8 a.m. to 12 a.m.
Trailers?
Yes. All right.
So what's that?
Oh, it is, let me give you the location.
Nice street down there, isn't it?
It is.
All right, so the address is 600 East Avenue F,
And that's Lancaster, California, 93535.
And what was the date?
October 4th, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m.
And that's at Lancaster's home district.
Lancaster.
And easy to show up, we just drop.
And you make sure you want to have your ID so they can, make sure you're from the unincorporated area.
Go early.
Yes.
Yes, make sure you go early because the line gets crazy.
I'll be there at 5.
Awesome.
Good idea.
All right, so I'll be there at 5.
Perfect. And then I know we did actually donate some dumpsters and trash boxes for the upcoming parade and fair. So I just wanted to let you guys know that. And then I'm going to actually be coming down to check out the fair this year too. So I'll hopefully see all of you guys. And that's really all that I have. Does anybody have any questions? Yeah?
I do have from Quayston.
Sure.
Is there a mandate that if you students want to dispose of your garbage in your F-150 truck, do a dump site on a regular basis for paying $200 a month waste management services? Is there a law that makes that illegal? Because the trash was being regulated?
Like where do you mean dump site? Like in the middle of the desert or? That absolutely not. So, unincorporated LA County, it's an open market area, so you don't have to use waste management. You can use other options if you prefer to. Yeah, you can, it's an open market, yeah. Right. Not to say that in the future maybe it will become a franchise, but right now it is an open market area.
Right now I have that.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
If you want.
You don't have an answer out.
Yeah, that's kind of,
That's what I've done sometimes because,
Wasn't there like a thing they were trying to do,
Garbage disposal districts.
Yeah.
well, yeah, it was basically they were like making laws and stuff, they were gonna try to pay for a certain amount because of the cost of the legal dumping and all that other stuff. And I know that when I arrest somebody or take someone for illegal dumping, the DA will make them get trash service.
Right.
For the condition.
Right. No, I'm already, to clarify, it's not, I always get me in trouble, then going to a legal, legitimate case that I pay for $75 for 2,000 pounds worth of trash, and I poured it from 50, if I only do that every 3 months instead of.
do you have a dumpster currently, or do you have
I do,
okay.
I pay for a dumpster.
Do you fill it, or have you thought about downsizing or anything like that?
Well, you have 4 words in your case.
That, you are right, yeah.
And stuff like that.
True,
You're not
versus a different
commercial, it's private residential
Yeah.
use, it gets a little bigger than the average.
Understandable.
Chicken bones,
Totally.
dinner table. So, I just wanted to find out what the laws were with regard
Yeah, right now it's not mandatory in the
Great.
area. Yeah.
to every level.
Yeah.
Any other questions for Quincy? With a K?
Yes, well, again. Okay, great.
Well, thank you very much. We
Bye.
appreciate it. All right. So, old business, we have, study comparison, PSPS.
Did anybody go to the, PSPS meeting, the community meeting with SCE?
The only feedback that I've seen from that has been on the local social media pages, and people showed up from the communities at the community centre in Acton. Edison's representative of the joint point do, that's all you need to know. And what they've described is that there is a new algorithm that they put together. This one might actually be based on artificial intelligence rather than artificial stupidity. And it was based on data that they picked up last year. And it's going to result in more PSPS warning, not necessarily more PSPS shutoffs. Now, having said that, right this week, there is a PSPS shutoff locally. It's on the Shovel 5 network, which is sort of north via Femero and goes up into the Angeles Forest. There's about 10 accounts attached to that.
Well, you know
And
what?
that's been switched off for what they call fire reasons.
But the fact that they can make that just 10,
Yeah.
That's what they promised us.
Yeah, that's what they
That's
told
what they
us.
promised.
That's why we put up with a hardening of the system,
Yeah.
that we wouldn't have our power turned off.
Yeah, I'm wondering, since they hardened our area, our threshold should be greater.
But that was part of the issue, so what Jackie and Aya at the Acton Town Council had realised was that the thresholds that they were using to shut people's power off and reinstate it weren't actually being met. When you looked at the data coming out of these local weather stations last year, the data was lower, but the real-time data was lower than the thresholds, and they were still turning the power off. And I think Jackie put something into the California Public Utilities Commission with Jackie's usual precision. And it's really down to the CPUC to take on Edison on our behalf. But I really don't see much improving. I mean, we track the PSPS part of SCE's website when there are power outages. There was an outage on the Davenport network that wasn't PSPS related.
It was beyond Davenport.
Right, it was, it went up to the Loops network up by the fire station, took everybody out at about 8 o'clock in the morning, almost 8, it was like 7:59.
Yeah.
And it lasted for 3 and a bit hours. And
Luke's, I didn't get power back until 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
5 hours.
5 hours.
I'm always the last one.
But Edison's responsiveness to this is chaotic.
There was no response.
The information on their website, on their outage page is out of date. And they never tell you what exactly the cause was.
Right, what was it?
No.
My understanding, again, this is an unsubstantiated post on a Facebook page, but somebody locally has some friends who work at a fairly senior level in Edison, and it was down to prior maintenance that hadn't been done properly that failed. And then they had to come out and redo the job.
So according to the paper line, they may not add Edison, they were doing some routine maintenance. They may or may not have Edison's line that will be worn out more than they expected it to be.
Yeah,
May or may not.
we don't know where it was, but almost immediately that afternoon, because we're a water company, we get dig alerts when people are going to start doing work around power poles and stuff. And we have three separate. Yeah, we got three separate dig alerts later that day for repairs down by the shed, which would be on Davenport networks, which was, the bigger problem. But yeah, nothing has changed at anything.
It just, I understand with the PSPS why each circuit they have to go out and check to make sure that the lines are okay. And I'm at the end of the line, so I'm always the last one. But this wasn't a PSPS thing, so you should be able to just flip the switch.
Yeah.
So it just makes no sense to me on the outage that we had, why my area was out for 5 hours.
Yeah, and the only way to really understand is to go in and look at what Edison submits to the California Public Utilities Commission after the fact.
Now, do they have to do that even if it's not a PSPS event?
Yeah, so when you kick power out like that, you have to report it.
Okay. Okay, I'll check.
Is it recommended for if you have your own private well to just turn your water off when they turn the power on? Is that preserve your equipment better?
It's not gonna run in hours enough.
When it comes back on, does it cause extra stress on the water tank?
You're better off.
I sometimes turn my water off because of that. I was under the impression it creates more power to break a line when it comes back on, and now. Never know whether to turn it back on.
Yeah. So if you turn your power off, turn the breakers off, then when power comes back on, turn the pumps on individually. You got your well pump, your booster pump, your tank controls, your alarm. If you switch those all individually, you're much better off than because a lot of times when Edison turns power back on, it isn't straight 240 volts, it's 190 or 268, they could be all over the place, and they try to anticipate how many air conditioners are gonna kick on as soon as they turn power back on. So it's best to wait about 2 or 3 minutes, let everybody,
Everybody turn their
let
phone and
let the power do what it's gonna do, and then go ahead and turn on your appliances and whatnot. Otherwise,
My instincts are right, it's a little.
oh, yeah. No,
So they can destroy my system by them doing their unannounced test.
Well, and usually their response is, well, you should have a surge protector, okay? Well, a 50 amp, 240 volt surge protector is only about $3,800. And you don't know if that's gonna work or not.
No, I got one for the house. It does work, but it's whenever they do turn the power, because it.
Yeah.
It was $350, and then the electrician, charged me $200 to call.
Well,
It's like,
Yeah, that's what we got.
hey, if it works, then how do we know if it works,
No, this we know it works, because then we had one where it wasn't home, and when they felt the power on at the same time, it triggered it. Now they try to figure out why circuit breaker didn't do that and reset the circuit breaker.
So John, do you recommend you just turn the circuit breakers off whenever I notice that there's gonna be a power outage, or turn both the circuit breakers and the water line off?
Yeah, the problem we had with this last one is we're sitting at the office and next thing you know, oh, everything goes out. It's 7:59. So, and then it was the whole thing was unfortunate. And I kept going online, because we fired up our generator and hooked our temporary power. And we still had internet through Spectrum, which is odd. But Edison never updated their page. They never said what the cause was. They said, we are aware of a problem. We are working on it. We don't know what the cause is. We don't know when it's going to be back on. And then all of a sudden, at 12:48 in the afternoon, power came back on. So, really, we're so spoiled. I mean, it's so nice. It's so nice to have just power coming through, and it's such a pain to get the generator.
We're expected to have power.
Yeah. Well, that's why we pay $800 a month.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you think you gotta get something. All right.
The other thing you can do is if you put your wells on a timer that resets to 0, so it sort of reinitiates the countdown period when the electric comes back on, then that timer controller will actually buffer the power going into the. You won't.
Timer regulates.
Yeah. So in the water company in Sleepy Valley, we have a digital timer that schedules when the pumps are going to run, and if the power goes off, then it automatically resets. The timer starts sort of, you turn
It's on delay.
Yeah, so basically,
even though it's just power, it's going to wait.
So it's going to sit there for 10, 15 minutes before it even tries to run the pumps.
Yeah.
Even when the power comes back.
Even when the power comes
And
on.
that's the way it's on.
So that's another way to buffer a power surge.
Okay.
Or just do it. So.
I've been doing it myself in my instinct for 2 years since all of these power shut-offs. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't really know that. I'm not sure that I should listen. It's not good for the pipe.
Yeah.
When it comes back on.
Yeah. That's the whole thing. And we get a whole lot of service calls. All right, so now we're going to move right on to RTG Investments, Agua Residential Project. If Chris has got a report for
Yeah,
tonight.
so because I've been away for a while, I haven't really been tracking it very closely. The two comments I would make are that, compare and contrast the corner of Sand Canyon
Oh my God.
and Soledad Canyon,
Oh, yeah.
which has got all those buildings up, which started grading at the same time as the RTG project in Agua Dulce, and look at what's going on in Agua Dulce, and they're still trundling around with bulldozers and grading. So that tells you all you need to know, that the washing machine is still in full effect.
Yeah.
Their project manager that they brought in after the Russian guy disappeared, he quit, I think, back in about May or June. Sorry? No, this was a guy called Massis Marty. He's still the contractor, but I think he got quite badly injured a while ago, and has not really been on site because he's been in rehab. Getting over whatever injury that he sustained. So
he's still the listed contractor, but the guy that was the contractor who came in after the Russian guy, my understanding, he quit over a payment dispute, which is
Wow, that's odd.
they would dogs don't complain if you get fleas.
Chris, does anybody have an idea of the daily cost of the operation?
Well,
Because we've moved dirt around for how long now? Every day. When are they ever going to recover this investment of just moving dirt to nowhere back and forth?
maybe that's not the objective.
What is the LTC project and not the LTC?
You haven't seen the hillside
Oh
back
my God.
here on the,
Battle Page and Piermont Road.
they're cutting the hillside back farther now too. Yeah, it just keeps, the road going up just keeps getting pushed farther into the hill.
You know,
But I'd love to know what the daily cost of running all the machines is. It's gotta be $30,000-$40,000 a day, you know, what they're doing, or more, right?
Yeah.
Could be.
And we've been doing this how long?
So I think
Too long.
I think the whole
5 years?
project is also orientated around high-speed rail, because obviously we figured out that water main is going to suddenly magically appear over the back of rocks and go all the way down to Sierra Highway. So I'm sure that's the end play here. But obviously with the current administration's position on funding,
It's never
a
happened.
$100 billion project that hasn't got a single train on a single mile track yet after 20
We need to
years.
get money for water.
Yeah, I think that these guys are probably sort of treading water at the moment, going, well, you know, let's keep the washing machine running, but how do we get out of it? I do believe they have been trying to find a buyer for the project, but I think that most of the people who look at it have got their eyes wide open.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, well, we got word from the Agua Neighbors Association. Marcy posted something earlier that they have nothing to report. So we'll just see what happens next meeting. All right, President's report. First thing is our meeting format that we've had for this last year and a half. In an effort to be more inclusive with community participation and effective communication, the council will continue with virtual meetings and have an in-person hybrid, such as tonight, meeting twice a year. Virtual meetings will be January, February, March, May, June, July, October, and November. The in-person hybrid meetings will be April and September. Location of the in-person meetings will be the Agua Ones Club every night. And December will be an in-person only, but it will not be hybrid. August is dark for summer break. Based on public participation, we may revisit and amend this schedule and format. So far, it's worked out well. So, incoming correspondence for action. We have the Land, Sea, Air, Agua Airport agenda requirement, action for response. So we've been sending them a letter. This was a request for that same letter that we've been sending them.
Yeah, twice a year, the airport has to contact them to see if the council wants to agendize the airport. And in our meeting since the last time, nobody has mentioned the airport, for agendizing it, so.
So I need a motion that we send the same letter that we sent, and a second and a vote on it.
I'll make a motion to the same letter we've been sending. I'll second that.
Chris? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Second on that?
Second was Chris. All right, so, public hearing, community meeting workshops, oak tree permit, update meeting is September 2nd, it's already passed. Countywide Community Wildfire Protection Plan, CCWPP workshop, September 4th, it's gone. Regional planning plans filed, 11113 Darling Road, proposed new temporary housing. Okay. Temporary housing, correct me?
Yeah,
We
want to go ahead?
We raised the question to regional planning, we never heard of this. What's temporary? Temporary for how long? Well, apparently, for some reason, for the Eden Fire, victims and Pacific Palisades, they granted, was it, wait, go
I
ahead.
think it's a 3-year,
3 year.
temporary housing permit. I thought it was odd that the permit was in Agua Dulce
Yeah.
when it was in Altadena. So we questioned, and the supervisor's office put us in touch with project applicant's representative.
Right.
And he explained to me, and let me just do a quick version of it. The guy who owns the property at 11113 Davenport is in the television and film industry. 4 of his employees in Santa Clarita, because that's where his filming is done, 4 of his employees who work there lost their homes in Altadena. He said, I'd like to be able to help them out. I've got the property, got plenty of space. Let's put temporary housing in Agua Dulce. It's close to Santa Clarita. They can use it. Then it made sense to me.
Yeah.
And I ended up talking to the rep and I said, our big issue with this whole thing is temporary is temporary. We don't want this changed into an Airbnb.
Mostly, a lot of things in Agua Dulce become temporarily forever.
Forever.
You know, and it just,
And he assured me that that wouldn't happen. So, and I have a relationship with the guy who is the rep.
Right.
So I will make sure.
and there were restrictions, it had to be less than 400 square feet. And I ran up Silvercrest or somebody who makes these
Park model.
park models, they have like 20 of them to choose from that are 399 square feet. So, you know, as of right now, I think it's still under review, but I wouldn't be surprised if they approve it based on the fire that happened in Eden and in Pacific Palisades. So, and when it was explained, it made sense. I mean, I don't think anybody's really that in favor of it.
Right. Nobody wants to have temporary housing.
But if we were harmed by a fire,
We lost our.
we would want that kind of, you know, grace given to us, so.
And I thought of somebody who lives out here in Agua Dulce, and they've got a relative in Altadena who lost their home, that they could put temporary housing on their property
Right.
for their relative or
Yeah.
whoever. So it makes more sense to me, but I did
We don't
told
know.
the rep, I said,
What it is.
we're keeping an eye on temporary 3 years.
Well, and initially it was set up to where they could put it on their own property in Altadena.
Right.
Okay, so then we thought, well, that makes total sense. Well, all of a sudden you realize they can't have that 400 square foot there and then also have room to develop a new house.
Right.
Plus, we know how long it takes to get a permit in LA County, like pulling teeth.
Yeah.
Out here, I don't know what it's like down there, but regardless, that's,
So I look at it as.
we
if-
questioned it and they responded.
If
Good.
we were in the same position, I would like that to be granted to us.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so the next thing up is, looks like Casa Dulce Estates is, they have a revised Exhibit A to their conditional use permit, which that's the mobile home park that's up off of Escondido. And I think it's paperwork, basically. They're not gonna bring in more mobile homes or make the mobile homes, they have their larger. Pine Horse, Road, which is Carousel Ranch, is hosting the 29th annual Heart of the West fundraising event. That's already happening. So it looks like, yeah, pretty much.
If I can comment on the 13025 Sierra Highway ADU, the homeowners actually came to us because they're part of our water company.
Yeah.
Said, can we have a letter from you saying you'll supply water? And we said, look, we can't do that because we can't meet the fire flow requirements.
Right.
So I think, Chief Spangler would know this, but I think if you've got sprinklers in an ADU, you have to be able to meet fire flow, which is 20 psi, so many gallons a minute for half an hour.
Wow.
And then if it's, it's
whole
somewhere between 6 and 18,000 gallons of water you have to be able to provide from a hydrant, depending on what the age. Yeah, it's a pretty hefty lift. And we said, look, you know, we've got 2-inch mains, you know, we're not going to be able to give you that. So, I don't know what's going to happen with this. I don't know whether we're going to find a magic letter that looks like we're supporting it that goes into planning, and they get some sort of waiver. But I'll follow this quite closely because we couldn't meet the ADU.
This is the illegal commercial trucking area.
Yeah, so they had the diesel tank which they took out. They had the unpermitted bits and pieces, and they have a like a shed, a she shed kind of thing underneath an oak tree, and they're trying to get an ADU permission to turn it into an ADU. We won't give them a separate water meter for it because we've got a moratorium on water meters and we've had that for decades. So.
Right. Excellent.
You have no extra water to get.
No, not without going through all sorts of rigmaroles.
There's some other items on here if anybody's interested. It's posted on our website in our agenda regarding the Verizon application to modify existing wireless facility. Someone wants to drill a well, a particular parcel, agricultural well, which is kind of odd.
I know, that, when I see that frightens me a little bit, because it's
Well,
like, we'll put the agricultural well in, and then we'll, into residential.
Yeah, but the thing is, once the health department signs off that as an agricultural well, I'll convert it over, it's a whole different permitting process with the health department.
But they'll sell it.
True.
Well.
True. So that brings us to open forum. Item 19. So anybody that would like to stand up and speak, we'll give you a minute and a half. Feel free. Oh, I heard this on.
Anybody online? Oh. No, it's not online.
Okay, we're good, that's right. Yeah,
Then come up to the podium.
address the group, it's your turn.
Do you have a question, or do you want to?
No, you want to?
Yeah, no, but I don't want you to.
Well, yes, you do.
It's really for the microphone.
Okay, for the microphone, so everybody,
Oh, here, okay.
yes.
Here's my question. So, when you live in a A1 zone land, and you are allowed to house livestock, i.e. horses, my understanding is there's commercial use and there's personal use and there's also recreational accessories. Does anyone have any experience with being able to house equines on a residence without a CUP? Because I was told by planning that if you have a horse, you have to get a site plan review. And I thought that's interesting because before I purchased the property, I was zoned as mixed use commercial and being able to have and house livestock as personal use, and there's no permits or anything that you have to obtain to have an animal on your land, which is why I bought the land, was to be able to acquire horses and enjoy them. And so now I'm understanding that the laws, I might not have understood them when I bought the place, and I was wondering if anyone who lives out here who has horses has run into that experience.
So you have A1?
A1, you're allowed, I think, A.
Commercial. What?
Yes, my property is zoned light agricultural 1. So there's A1 and there's A2, which is heavy agriculture.
Okay, what was the mixed commercial?
So mixed commercial uses, I'm allowed to run a woman's shelter off my property, but I'm challenged if I want to put a horse on it.
No.
But it's one or the other. It's either A1, which is light agriculture.
Light agriculture.
Now, you may be looking at land use versus zoning.
I'm looking at land use.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I would contact regional plan, the Department of Regional
I
Planning.
was there this morning.
Okay.
Yeah.
And A1 is by right. In other words, you're allowed to have 8 per acre.
I'm allowed 8 per acre.
8 per acre.
But that is personal.
Right.
You can't board horses.
Well, you can have 2, but you have to get a conditional use permit.
Use permit, because that is not a, permitted use.
Right.
Boarding horses on anyone's property.
Is not permitted, right, you have to get special permission from the state, whatever. The other interesting law that makes it a little more confusing is that, if you have 4 horses, you don't have to go to the franchise tax board and get a business license if you wanted to do a home business, like a nonprofit or something, because 4 horses is not deemed as a livery stable. A livery stable is defined as 5 or more horses. So if you have 4 horses, the health department doesn't care, and that to me is interesting because it only takes 1 horse pooping 80 pounds a day to get into the water supply, yet the health department doesn't care if you have 4 horses. But if you choose to want to start, like, let's say a nonprofit horse rescue, where the administrative side is done at the desk, and then you help locate and save horses, for example, and then you can adopt them and put them in a sanctuary so that they don't end up in a slaughterhouse, you can't really do that. And so it makes no sense to me, the contradictions of how the law is set up, and so I didn't know if there was someone who's a master at that.
I have a question. All right, here.
He is, okay.
Yeah, I'll be.
Daniel, yeah, because I obviously want to operate within the compliance, but one of the reasons I bought the land was to be able to have horses.
Right.
Well, I also had to sign an agreement that when I bought the house, I'm in a flood zone. So what that means is that the water that comes from the mountain and runs through my property could enter other people's property and filtrate into their dirt and their water supply, and I would be held responsible if, you know, a piece of manure is near a drain off. But so, yeah, I don't really know how to have lawn ornaments.
On your property.
Yeah.
Well, when you have 6 acres, it's a little tricky, but yeah, I totally understand that. And you can have confined areas.
You can have 48 horses.
I'm allowed to have 48 horses on my land.
That's different.
Yeah. But you can't without 5. As soon as you hit 5, you have to get the regional planning to come out and make sure that your whole entire property is a $20 million equine facility.
If you're doing it commercially.
You're not.
No, even for private use, you have to have a plan review for 5 horses and more.
I
don't
Never heard
believe that is
would
true.
thank us for deputy.
Because I live next to a nonprofit that has 40 horses on 5 acres.
But they must be zoned A2.
No,
They're zoned A1?
they were zoned A1, and I finally got them out after 5 years of dealing with them. Because it was a guest house that they were trying to do with trail rides and everything, and that wasn't a permitted use. And so they didn't.
And how many horses did they have?
40.
40.
40 at least.
Yes, see,
Plus those, it's really 40
Moved animals, correct, yeah.
But
I've studied Title 22 for about 6 years, and I'm still struggling with the interpretation of the law because one law agency says you don't need a business tax license for 4 horses, and then another one says that, you know, it's not even considered a business. So it's like, and you can't get anybody to answer you anything. I was with the planning department this morning, and the guy was scratching his head. He's like, well, why don't you just pretend and just do whatever you want, and if you don't get caught, you don't get caught. And I'm like, wow, so that's amazing that you represent an agency that is supposed to abide and promote citizens abiding by the law and being compliant, and you're telling me to just wing it, and maybe you won't get caught.
On your side.
Wow. That's great. Okay, I'll take that advice. Can I get that in writing when you guys try and turn me in if I get 4 horses without a permit or a review? So I get a little passionate because I am the American dream. I came from nothing, and I worked 30 years in the city and came out here to get away from people and society as you know it, to basically try and create a haven for myself. But I feel more entrapped and more chained of not being able to do anything because I can't get any clarification on what the laws are that I'm actually allowed to do. And so how are you supposed to experience your land?
Daniel is a local guy.
Okay.
Code, maybe way more familiar than you go down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, worried about it. Yeah. Great.
Well, the issue is that, you know, you can get fined or, you know, whatever.
Yeah. But I think the word is, Mary, how long did it take for you to get to the point where you're at now? The neighbors. where you have a legitimate.
I have to not, you know,
That's fine.
Keep the well, that's the other whole issue. So you're,
10 years to get to the point to where finally, zoning enforcement is acting on what's a violation.
oh, 10 years?
10 years.
So if I'm in violation of something, it'll take them about 10 years to catch me?
Probably long.
Because I can't get a definition of what is a violation. I can't get any clarity on that. They don't even know either. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, here I am calling lawyers that specialize in land use. And I'm like, I don't even know how I'm allowed to use my land. And I can't get any answers from the people that issue violations.
Called it. All right, that's it for open forum.
Okay.
Thank you, Steve. Okay. High-speed rail report. Anybody have a high-speed rail report? Otherwise known as HLS.
Yeah, exactly.
It's something windmill fund. Yeah, windmill fund. All right. Committee reports. Oh, election committee. Are you leaving? Quincy, thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, great.
You say, how's business is picking up? Waste management. Okay, so, election committee, Lorna is here. Oh, Lorna, it's your time to shine. And here's she's frozen. This is Lorna. Okay, well, I'm gonna read her report. Election committee chair, Lorna Leslie, 2025 election details. 4 seats should be up for election. Timeline, July 9th.
Oh, here I am. Sorry, guys.
Oh, okay. You're
Got
up.
lost in the Zoom screens. How's everyone doing tonight?
Good.
Good. Well, I just want to remind everybody that the deadline is coming up for turning in your applications if you're interested in running for town council. I do have Chris's, and Dawn, I'm happy to come pick yours up whenever yours is ready. And then if you have checks, you can just turn them over to Mary directly. That's where they're going to end up.
Okay. All right. Good. Yeah.
I can't, I'm sorry, it's a little hard to hear you guys sometimes. Well, no, that's really about it. We're just waiting for the deadline, and we just need to, still do our best to reach out to people in the community. I would suggest that everyone just ask one person, ask them to consider running for town council, and the form's very simple. So that's, I think, our best thing is reaching out to people that you think would be good representatives of our community. So, and if I'll put my cell phone number in the chat. But many of you have it already. If anybody needs me to come pick up an application from them or meet them somewhere to get it, I'm happy to do that. You just have to let me know. And that's really about it. I wish I could say I have a big influx of applications, but I don't. So again, I suggest that everybody think of someone in the community that they know that might be good to represent all of us and serve here on our committee.
Perfect.
On our council.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Wonderful. Anybody have any questions for Lorna? Right here. No? Oh. Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's only the unpaid.
We all have the same, and we all paid us all the same.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the pay is incredible.
I can't hear you guys real well, so if it's something I have to address, please let me know.
We're just mumbling, and so.
Okay, just mumbling's fine. That's part of being on the town council, I think.
Right. And there's no questions, so thank you for the report.
Okay, great. Thanks, you guys. Have a good night. And again, if anybody has anything they need me to pick up from them, or they have any issues with obtaining the forms or anything, please reach out to me at any point.
And you are going to be at the country fair.
I am. I will be there. I'm going to be working as a volunteer. I think you might find me initially in the pre-sale ticket check-in booth. Oh, which I should at least mention that since I have the mic for the moment, is that you can buy your tickets on the Agua Dulce Women's Club website ahead of time. You get a discount and you get to skip the line. If you remember, there was quite a line last year right after the parade. There might be a little line, but it's going to be much shorter, and you'll get your tickets for cheaper. So just go on the Women's Club website, grab your tickets there. You basically put in your name, and then you'd come up and find me at the booth and get your tickets and waltz on in.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that.
You're welcome. Have a good night, everybody.
You too. All right, second is Film Committee by Catherine Segura. Catherine?
With July and August, there were 5 shoots here, productions.
Okay. All right. Parks and Trails, Mary.
Well, I'm happy to report that there's been some changes over at Vasquez Rocks after our meeting. I call it sign blight, which is the white signs that were kind of computer generated, all gone. All of those are gone. The rules and regulations are on a nice brown sign with tan lettering. You know, fits in with the environment much better, much better. The Darrell Redmond Trail has been mowed and kept maintained.
That's cool.
It looks like they have put a big rock over in front of the memorial so that the truck doesn't park there and anybody else. So the changes that we were looking for are happening.
They're happening.
Yeah.
And the communication.
Communication is open, and I'm pleasantly surprised
Good.
with the
Awesome.
that we've made.
All right, next up is water stewardship, which is me. We're looking for rain. We need some rain. We need some rain and snowpack.
Well,
God's way.
rain clouds, see? And I was going
Water in the wells, yeah. I mean, this year, we've almost gone back to where it was like 5 years ago. So.
May I have one question?
Yeah.
Okay. I know that the wells and the amount of water usage is not regulated because everyone's on their own well.
Right.
Question, if your neighbor at the end of the street owns 200 acres and uses 20,000 gallons a day of water in trees that he planted and then drains everyone's tank, is there any way to address that?
Not that because you're entitled to drill down on your property.
And use much.
Yeah.
And in other words, I could choose to do something that causes 20,000 gallons a day.
And at this point, you know, when you get into, and I believe when the adjudication took effect in the Antelope Valley, that was one of the concerns. What are we going to do? How many wells are here? Are they agricultural wells? Are they, you know, irrigation wells? What kind of wells are they? And so, you know, they set up a group to kind of monitor and look after those wells that were being drilled. And so, believe it or not, last July, in order to drill a well in LA County, you have to get the approval of the GSA, which is the Groundwater Sustainability Agency Authority. Okay. They have to sign off on you being able to drill a well. Okay. And then they get involved if you're going to use, and I don't know how they figure this out, but if you're going to use more than 2 acre feet per year, you have to be under their guidelines, but they don't put a meter on. In other words, how do they know that you're using over 2 acre feet a year or whatever? But anyway, so Alvarez Acton has more or less kind of been on their own. We haven't been taken over by any of the.
Yeah, I don't regulate, and I didn't know the way to say.
You know, what they did in the valley, $7,500 just to get the Water Masters Group to allow you to drill a well. You have to give them the rights to the well.
Yeah.
Then you have to put a meter on the well, and you take the meter in to the Department of Water and Power, and they read it once a year, and they charge you the same rate as if you had city water in Chatsworth. You know?
Right.
So here you pay to have the well drilled, put the pump in, pay the electricity, and they charge you. You know, so
I definitely don't want regulations at
Yeah,
all. I fix my well every day,
Yeah.
all of that, but like.
And Agua is so unique. You know, people say, or they used to say, oh, you know, when the vineyard started watering, my well went dry. You know, remember that was going on?
Right.
Now their well's dry.
Right.
So it's like, well, what's happening to your well now? I mean,
Right.
so, you know, So all I'm gonna say is water stewardship, or head of the water stewardship committee, is that we need rain. And we're not looking real good. And the good thing, if there's a silver lining, is that we're in September. So we have September and October to go through. And come November, is when we start to get rain, the days get shorter and things go in our favor. Which is good. Ways and means, Scott Keller, anything to report? Nothing to report. Boy, that's odd. Disaster planning, Gary or Chris?
So there is
Gary here?
no.
Oh, yeah, he left. Okay.
There is a CERT event for people who have graduated from CERT, and it's kind of a refresher course. A lot of different CERT organizations from around the area are coming in. That's going to be held on October 4th at the Antelope Valley Fairgrounds. You can pre-register for that. And I just want to thank West Coast water tenders who contributed over $600 of brand new tools that have gone into the CERT container. The Women's Club shared a list of things that they were looking for with them, and Andrew Sarvis went down to Harbour Freight and bought them all. Wow. And donated them. So thank you very much to West Coast Water Tenders.
That's great.
I feel like we should be doing a commercial for West Coast Water Tenders. If you need water, if you're well, call West Coast Water Tenders.
1-800.
Yeah.
They just look at it to make sure to plug.
Yeah.
When they do.
Good. All right.
So thank you very much for that. And also thank you to LA County Fire, because we had a pretty sizable brush fire recently. It was in Acton's area, not ours. It was just at the end of the Hawk Fire. And you guys did an amazing job. Absolutely amazing job. I mean, there were flames flying in from, like the Central Coast from all the from water.
Rather busy week. We had a fire down between Piru and Santa Clarita, or I got up on Smoky Bear and 5. Same day we had fire service.
Yeah. So thank you.
Okay, perfect. Announcements. Household hazardous waste and new waste collection, first and third Saturday of the month, 9 to 3 at City Ranch Road facility, at the Environmental Collection Center. Free mattress recycling for 4th, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Public Works Yard 557, which is at 38-126 North Sierra Highway, which is Palmdale. Next Agua Dulce Town Council meeting is going to be October 8th, and the meeting will be virtual Zoom, so we'll look forward to seeing you all there. And then sound the alarm, Red Cross, October 18th, 10 to 2, Red Cross installing 3 smoke alarms. To schedule or to volunteer, go to their website, which is listed on our website. So, I think that's about it.
And September 20th, Agua Dulce Fair and Parade.
Okay.
And I want to talk to you guys next month about Spark Club.
Okay.
Because we want to do that together.
Great. So I'm looking for a motion to adjourn this meeting.
I'll make that a motion.
Scott?
Second it.
Yeah, Chris?
No.
Okay.
Not guilty.
Cliff, seconded it.
Yes,
Seconded it. All right. So I think we're having some discussion on it. No. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Always. Thank you for coming.
Everybody.